everybody, and welcome to the show. Happy New Year's Day. And yes, we are still working despite it being New Year's Day, because that's what we do here at the Tom Renz Show. We work 24/7, 365 because we have issues. No, actually we don't. I long for the day that we can have some normalcy and some peace, but right now we can't. There's too much happening, and we got to be here to get it out. Right now, the truth will set us free, and it's the only thing that will set us free. As we watch our nation burn around us, and we see things continuing to go terrible, the reality is that it's up to nobodies. It's up to citizen journalists. It's up to small fries. It's up to people like us to come together and to get to the truth, because it's not out there, folks. The administration is spinning things. The Democrats are spinning things. Everybody's spinning things, and almost nobody's getting to the truth. We love Donald Trump still, but man, he's got a lot of really crooked people around him. And now we're finding out that Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi and their crew are putting together virtual hit squads to destroy the reputations of people who are speaking out about them and the truth about their corruption. Well, we welcome a fight. We've been fighting uphill for long years, and I guess they can bring it if they want to bring it. The corruption knows no bounds in this country and in the D.C. swamp, which is still not being drained, as we can all see. So if they want to fight, I guess we'll have to do that. But it'd be much better if they would just do their jobs and drain the swamp, which is what we all fought to elect them, to get them elected to do. But it just ain't happening, right? It ain't happening. So lots of stuff to talk about today. I'm going to hit this Somali fraud, but you know what I want to talk about with the Somali fraud? Is the uniparty aspect of it. You know, everybody's talking about what's happening in Minnesota, but did you know that Ohio, supermajority Republican Ohio, has the second highest Somali immigrant population in the country? Under RINO Governor Mike DeWine, the first Republican in the United States to sell out on COVID and lock down his state, the guy who was cited by Anthony Fauci in his emails as being the winner of the corruption race, in terms of being the most willing Republican to sell out in the country. Mike DeWine has imported more Somalis into this state than any other Republican state in the union, and any other state in the union, period, except Minnesota. Yes, that is a reality. Now, for those of us that are in Ohio, we have some really interesting information on this, and we'll get into that in just a minute, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Before we do, please support us. GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw. GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw. We've got to have your support, guys. You keep us afloat. No one likes us telling the truth. I open this, and I'm talking about Republican fraud. Right? Listen, it's not the GOP, it's not the RNC, it's not the DNC, it's everybody, right? It's everywhere. We don't get support. Nobody pays me to talk. Nobody will pay me because nobody wants me to tell the truth. The one thing you can't get paid, you can get paid to support the Republicans, you can get paid to support the Democrats, you can get paid to support anybody. What you can't get paid to do is tell the truth. We're accountable to the truth, but we can only be accountable to the truth if you support us. So please, GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw, GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw. Also, please go to TomRenz.com, www.TomRenz.com. Check out shop and click our sponsors and affiliates, and check out all these guys. We get the best of the best of the best sponsors and affiliates. Of course, our favorite sponsor, Global Healing Men's Hormone Support. Hey, New Year's resolution. Today, our sponsorships are advertising all about New Year's resolution. Get your fat butt in shape. Right? You're tired of being a fat, weak, lazy bones? Well, do something about it. Get to the gym. Get out. Take a walk. Do whatever you can do, right? Do whatever is good for your personal fitness and wellness level, but make sure you're checking out your hormones, right? Because it's a lost cause otherwise. The war against testosterone is real. It's in our food, it's in our water, it's everywhere. They don't want men to be men. Men's hormone support is an all-natural supplement from our buddies at Global Healing. It's the best, most natural product out there. It will help get your hormone levels where they need to be. You'll have less brain fog. Your men parts will work better. They have women's hormone support too, by the way. You should check into that. All the Global Healing Products are just wonderful. So make sure you're supporting them. Use our link. Use checkout code RENS when you can for discounts. They're wonderful, wonderful product line. And also today, let's scroll down because it's New Year's Day. Check out our new sponsor, Make Wellness. Make Wellness. Make Wellness has all natural oral peptides. All natural oral peptides. You don't have to take a shot to get this stuff. They found a way to get the peptides to survive the digestive process and still get into your system. We had my good friend Dr. Angie Frella on, who was talking to me about this the other day. We'll have her back to talk some more. But Make Wellness peptides are the best stuff. I love these guys, right? Where people are seeing legit, real results with Make Wellness. I'm using it. I like this stuff. It's a great stuff. The Fit product is my favorite, right? The Fit product is wonderful. I mean, they've got great products. Lean, the Lean product is a great one to help you to drop some of those holiday pounds. Calm product, if you're going to work out hard, you need the hydrated and energized to get some energy and some hydration. The Focus product, I use that all the time because, well, I have to think about stuff, 90,000 hours a day. But Make Wellness is a great product. Click on our link. You got to use our link. It's the best way to do it. But check our link out. It's in the show notes and it's in the all the links for our show. You can't miss it. In fact, I believe we've got it posted in Twitter also underneath the show. Yeah, you'll see a post there. So make sure you're checking that out. Make Wellness, lose some weight, get in shape, use these all natural oral peptides. Great product. Great product. All right, let's get to the show. I want to get to the corruption everywhere. Before I do, I got a couple little fun New Year's Day things. Milo Yiannopoulos. Milo Yiannopoulos is a funny dude to me. I don't know Milo. I've never met Milo. I would love to shake the guy's hand because I get a boot out of him. He's just, man, that guy can just go at it. I think he's funny, and I get it. If you're on the receiving end of his attacks, you probably think it's less funny, but it's objectively funny, right? He's got a great sense of humor. Well, he's been on a tirade about Benny Johnson. Milo does not like Benny Johnson, right? He has accused Benny Johnson of being gay and fake and about anything he can accuse him of, and I don't know the details. I don't know Benny Johnson either. Benny, I just don't know him. And I have not watched his stuff. I don't know what he does. I don't know anything about him. All I know is he posts a lot of pictures of him and his kids and his wife, which, whatever. I certainly don't post pictures of my kids because I don't want them to be targets, but I guess he's okay with it. Maybe he's got better security. But anyways, Benny has been the target of Milo's wrath for quite some time. And Milo posted this post, and I just thought this was hilarious. He says, "Dear Benny Johnson, each year on New Year's Day, I like to pen a note to 5 people whom I wish I'd been kinder to in the preceding 12 months. It's an opportunity to seek forgiveness and ask for a fresh start. It always seems to go down well. It pains me to exchange sharp words with people I like, and I often reflect about tense professional exchanges over the Christmas period, wishing I'd handled things differently. Because I so often find myself swept up in wrathful behavior, it can be difficult to narrow it down to only 5 people. You did not make the cut." Peace be with you, Benny Milo. That's hilarious to me. Milo really, really dislikes Benny Johnson, and like I said, I don't know Benny. I mean, maybe he's a good guy, maybe he's not. But I know that I do find Milo to be funny as hell. But that's that. I also saw. I want to hit this just Gateway Pundit right here. Jack Smith, right? Jack Smith. Headline: Jack Smith says Trump did not have First Amendment right to say 2020 election was fraudulent in newly released deposition. So they released transcript of his deposition on Capitol Hill. And this was really, really terrifying, right? This is a terrifying thing. So the DOJ and crooked Jack Smith, who actually, I mean, I think he should probably just apply for a job working for Pam Bondi because I think she'd get along with him. But Crooked Jack Smith is out there, and he he literally talks about how he views Trump's statements about the election as fraud rather than First Amendment protected free speech. Now, this is a comment about the most political thing in the country, an election. Yeah, you can't get more protected than that. This is a terrifying thing, folks, because this is telling you how bad our justice system has gotten. The fact that this guy, the only reason this didn't work was because we, the people, stood up. I mean, he had, Judge Chutkan, the crooked judge from some of the Trump cases. He had some real crooked judges involved in this. He really got there. He says, quote, fraud is not protected by the First Amendment. So in my mind, it's important to make that a clear indictment. So, he was saying that this is fraud, right? And he said it. Let me explain this. He said this because what he was saying is, quote, the president's statements that he believed that the election was rife with fraud, those are certainly statements that are protected by the First Amendment, correct? Said the congressional investigator. And Jack Smith says, absolutely not. If they are made to target a lawful government function and they're made with knowing falsity, no, they're not. That was my point about fraud not being protected by the First Amendment. So this guy twisted Trump thinking that the fraud occurred into a fraud allegation. Listen, we can say anything we want about a lawful or unlawful function of the government. There's nothing to prevent us from doing it. That is the point of the First Amendment. That is the whole point. The way he attacked this couldn't be a more direct assault on the First Amendment. It is mind-blowing that this occurred. And the fact that this guy hasn't been criminally charged yet is horrific. I do not understand. This guy belongs in jail. Jail. I mean, what he did was, the number of laws he violated doing what he did. And this is an attorney. He ought to know what the First Amendment is, right? He ought to know that we have protection on, political stand. We can be against something politically, but not this guy, not Jack Smith, not crooked Jack Smith. He wants to weaponize fraud laws to be able to indict someone for speaking out against what he calls a lawful government function. There's nothing lawful about it. And by the way, we still aren't prosecuting anybody for this election fraud that everybody knows happened. And the government's got plenty of documents to do it. Where's that at, Pam Bondi? Oh, I'm sorry, she's too busy. I heard today that it's because they have so many of their lawyers working on the Epstein files that they just can't get to anything else. Right. Does anybody remember what they did to our J6ers? Anybody? No, Bill Barr Part 2, which is Pam Bondi, they know there's plenty. So anyways, this is an incredible and scary thing. Right there, that is the face of corruption. That is Bill Barr's long-lost twin sister in corruption. That is the continuation of the Jeff Sessions, Bill Barr appointments. Trump, God bless him. He does a lot of things great. He is the worst ever when it comes to appointing AGs. You can't be worse than that. So anyways, so let's move into fraud, right? Let's move into fraud. And I want to play this video for you guys because, the Somali fraud thing is huge. And, everybody's looking at Minnesota and Tim Walz and the corruption up there, and rightly so. So the administration sees this uber viral thing, and they're going to pretend that they're going to do something with it, right? So let me show you this video here. This is the administration. talking about Somali fraud.
No, you're absolutely right, Jason. Either they're culpable or they buried their head in the sand. But fortunately, President Trump, Secretary Noem, and the entire administration, this is an all-hands-on-deck operation. You saw HHS freezing that funding, SBA freezing that funding, FBI's on the ground. We've surged hundreds of officers from Homeland Security investigations. But if you rewind even a month, we saw that this problem was happening. We've arrested more than 500 criminal illegal aliens off of the streets of Minneapolis alone. We have a wide-scale investigation into immigration fraud with our USCIS partners. So the Trump administration is not resting on our laurels. We will get answers and accountability for the American people.
Sure they will. That is Tricia McLaughlin, DHS Assistant Secretary, who's required to toe the line. And so I'm going to try to be polite to her, but that's a load of shit. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Guys, listen, at the end of the day, did you hear what she said? We've arrested a whole bunch of illegal immigrants off the street. Do you know who they haven't arrested? Tim Walz. You know who they haven't arrested? Ilhan Omar. They're not arresting any of the big shots. They're not even looking at the big shots. They're going to arrest tons of Somali illegals, or people that should have their immigration status revoked or whatever, right? They're going to arrest a bunch of those. They're going to make a huge show of this. Oh, we're on it. We're on it. You know who they won't arrest? Ilhan Omar. You know who they won't deport? Ilhan Omar. You know who they won't arrest? Tim Walz. They haven't even asked Tim Walz about the murder of Melissa Hartman, which, by the way, you're going to want to check my Substack out, coming out, I think, later today on that. That's going to be, we got some info on that. But the point is that this is all smoke and mirrors. Our DOJ won't do anything, right? This is show. This is all political show. They aren't actually doing everything our DOJ does is political show. They accomplish nothing real. If they cared about this, the first person they'd be looking at is the RICO conspiracy in and around Tim Walz. And they should be asking about the murder of Melissa Hartman, right? The former House rep from Minnesota who was shot 5 days after voting no on funding this fraud in Minnesota, right? She votes no on funding this fraud. 5 days later, she gets shot. Tim Walz is named by the shooter as the guy who told him to shoot it, and nobody even asked Walz. Nobody even, hey Walz, did you do it? Well, someone asked him. Do you know what he said? He said it's really a tragedy. He didn't even answer. He didn't even deny it. He literally said nothing. The guy literally, he doesn't even pretend that he didn't have anything to do with it. So yeah, Tim Walz is 100% involved in this whole thing, in my opinion, and nobody's going to arrest him. Ilhan Omar definitely involved in this, in my opinion, and nobody's going to investigate her. We're not going to do anything. We're going to make a show of things. We're not actually going to do anything. Why? Because that's the game. That is the game. Now, you may say to yourself, Renz, you're being harsh. You're being harsh. They're so busy trying to release those Epstein files. You know, they're up to, by the way, they're up to 5.2 million pages. Remember the Epstein files that were fake and that don't exist? They're up to 5.2 million pages of fake files that don't exist. How do you have 5.2 million pages of files if there wasn't actually something going on here? How is that? And why are we worried about protecting billionaires that rape children? Huh? I'd love to know. You know who the common denominator here is? Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi covered for Epstein when she was at the DOJ or the AG down in Florida. I mean, from 2008 on, she, Epstein was still running his ring back then, and she was AG back then, and you just kept looking the other way. Everybody in Florida knew it was. I mean, the Miami newspaper used to write about it. One of the biggest newspapers in the state. What, she was unaware? Everybody knew what was happening. She just didn't care. She covered for him. She was complicit in it. Anyways, so all that's happening, right? But it's not just happening in Minnesota, and this is the dirty secret. Everybody wants to say, this is Democrat Tim Walz. It's not Democrat Tim Walz. It's uniparty. The Republicans are pushing for illegal immigration, too. The Republicans aren't stopping it. I mean, Trump had to drag him kicking and screaming to sign any laws allowing for immigration reform. I mean, you remember the first term when the Republicans wouldn't let Trump, they wouldn't pass anything, wouldn't do anything to help Trump get the border security? Remember that? I do. Well, now what we have happening is people are looking because guess who has the second highest Somali immigration population in the country? That would be Ohio. In fact, Columbus, Ohio, capital of Ohio, home of the Ohio State University, and also the location that Mike DeWine, Republican governor of Ohio, governs from. Well, it turns out that they seem to have a huge Somali population and a ridiculous amount of childcare facilities that seem to be, well, fraudulent. In fact, we just actually had Mahek Cook was investigating claims of taxpayer-funded childcare fraud involving ghost children at Columbus daycares, and she was assaulted by a staffer. Right? There's a video of this. It's pretty viral right now on Twitter. It's kind of crazy. It's all over the place, and it's starting to make news in Ohio. It's starting, people are starting to say, "Wait a second, we got a lot of Somalis here. Do we have the same sort of fraud happening in Ohio?" And of course, Mike DeWine denies it. Mike DeWine, a good Republican, right? He's a Republican leader. Of course, he couldn't be involved, except for he is. Mike DeWine is the same crook who sold out, as I said, with all the COVID stuff. He was the lead chief Republican sellout. He did more to facilitate this. He's 100% in the big pharma pocket. He is a absolute crook. He is not. I live in Ohio. I can't say enough bad about this piece of crap. So we've got all this happening in Ohio, right? Now, I've done a little bit of work on this, and so I posted this little blurb about Ohio today. The Gateway Pundit had a great article because, people are asking questions in Ohio, and he said, DeWine, you've been importing all these Somali immigrants for a long time. You bring every refugee you can in the state of Ohio. You love supporting illegal immigration and any sort of fraud you can support. They didn't say it that way. I said it that way. But so, Mike, we've got these videos online and people talking about fraud in Ohio. What do you think, Mike? What do you think, Governor Mike? Is there some fraud going on? And DeWine says, well, we got 5,200 daycare people, businesses in this Ohio. There's no fraud, but there is fraud, and it's part of the cost of doing business. What? Here it is, folks. So therefore, we have robust anti-fraud measures to try and stop this. This is something that is unfortunately the cost of doing business. That is according to Governor Michael DeWine of Ohio. The Somali fraud, just like is occurring in Minnesota, is also occurring in Ohio. And according to Mike DeWine, it is the cost of doing business. What do you think, guys? Is Somali fraud in Ohio, are you guys okay with this? Can we just write this all off as part of the cost of doing business? Are you okay with that? Let's not worry about that stuff. Let's not even worry about it, right? Let's just cost of doing business, right? Let's tell Tim Walz. Now, why is it that nobody's talking about Ohio right now? Where is the Trump administration? Are they going to surge in Ohio? Are they going to surge in Columbus? Because they ought to. See, this is the problem, though. When you put party over principle, what you get is a broken party. And what we're having across the board is a uniparty. Because instead of calling out the frauds, instead of policing our own in the GOP, instead of calling out guys that are quite clearly bad, we say, well, but they're Republicans and we can't because it could damage us in midterms and it could damage us with this, could damage us with that. We can't say anything about the Republic. No, what you look like is disingenuous. And that's what's happening from the Trump administration. They keep partnering with these RINOs and selling out to these RINOs and letting these RINOs go. And they've got a RINO AG and a RINO here and a RINO there, where RINO chief of staff and Trump. We elected Donald Trump because we wanted MAGA and accountability. Mike DeWine calling Somali child health care fraud and child care fraud the cost of doing business is not MAGA. It's the opposite. Mike DeWine is a sellout fraud. He is no more Republican than Tim Walz. He's never been. He's a sellout, right? But yet we won't do anything about it. Right? Nothing. No one will do anything about it, doing everything they can to try and ensure that that this all just goes away, right? So this is mind-numbing fraud, mind-numbing. It's occurring in Ohio just like elsewhere. Now, if you scroll down, I got these other things here. Now, let me show you this. This is from Libs of TikTok, right? So, interestingly enough, it turns out that Libs of TikTok found this. Somali as the ambassador to the UN is actually a healthcare administrator in Ohio. And his company's in the same suite with a different name as a bunch of other companies. He's running, the Somali ambassador is running a fraud game out of the state of Ohio. Can you believe this? Well, this is Somalia that was just named to the rotating presidency of the UN Security Council. Somalia is literally, as of today, the head of the UN Security Council, and their ambassador is in Ohio under Mike DeWine committing healthcare fraud, it looks like. Are you kidding me? Now, hilariously, DeWine says, oh, no, we've got all these measures to prevent fraud in Ohio. There's no healthcare fraud. And the reason that Mike DeWine says there's no healthcare fraud is that we don't do enrollment-based. We do attendance-based. Right, because it's real hard to defraud enrollment attendance-based, right? I mean, God knows the guys that would commit fraud, enrollment-based fraud, would never commit attendance-based fraud, right? It'd be real hard to share a PIN number or to steal a PIN number. That'd be real tough, Mike. That'd be real tough. So Mike DeWine is making excuses for his fraudulent, ridiculous Somali sellout stuff. And one of the things that I posted here, and I posted down here, is, and this is worth looking at, or where did I put this? Where is, well, I don't know where I put it. I'll have to find it. Let's refresh this. I might have reposted it later. But the thing about this is that Mike DeWine is well known in Ohio to have a lot of connections to Les Wexner, who is really, really well known as a member of tons of allegations. Lex Wexner, big on the Epstein list. That's the story, right? A lot of people are accusing Lex Wexner of being a big, frequent party buddy with the one and only Jeffrey Epstein, and in the way that you'd think, right? In the way that you'd think. So you got that going on. You've got DeWine also is really tight with the Clinton Foundation. Very, very good friends. He and the Clintons do a lot of work out of Haiti. And if you live in Ohio, you've heard the rumors, and they're rumors. But the rumors are that these allegations of Mike DeWine working with the here it is. Mike DeWine, a longtime friends with the Epstein list king Les Wexner and the Clinton Foundation. Ohioans have long heard rumors of immigrant child trafficking through his work in conjunction with the Clinton Foundation out of Haiti. Right. So the story in Ohio, and this is a rumor. I'm not going to tell you it's proven, but the long history. Story is that DeWine traffics kids out of Haiti through some orphanage or something in Cleveland. I don't know. The story changes a little bit. Like I said, it's not proven. It's conspiracy theory, but it was conspiracy theory that masks don't work too, right? And this is a very long-running conspiracy theory that that DeWine and his crew are involved with child trafficking out of Haiti with and through the Clinton Foundation. Is it true? I don't know. I mean, it's a long-standing conspiracy theory. I can't say it's true, but I also wouldn't put it past him. So that is what it is. But we got all this happening. Now, I want to share this with you guys because this is really something. This is a great little video from I don't know who's this. I don't know who this is. I don't know, some chick. A video from some chick. I'm sure she's got a great little channel or something. But anyways, this lady did a great job on this. So I want you to see who our DOJ, Tim Walz, and Mike DeWine is being outsmarted by, right? I'm going to let this play because you can just hear it yourself.
We have new information that's coming out of Minnesota. Apparently, one of these daycares that was featured in Nick Shirley's expose, we'll call it, had a break-in, and you'll never guess what the people stole.
No,
the manager of Nokomis Childcare is saying that they stole all the child enrollment paperwork.
Oh my God!
They stole all the enrollment paperwork and employee information. All that stuff is completely gone. So like nobody could look into it in the future.
At least he's got the checkbooks.
Listen to the devastation in this man's voice.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also
how dumb is he?
Checkbooks that were ripped.
Oh no, they took the checkbooks.
Check papers that were from our book.
Oh, they didn't take the checkbooks. How devastating. So wait.
However will they recover without these important documents that could have been used for some sort of investigation later? I just have one simple question. How did these people carry? How did they do this?
Here, look at this guy. This guy, where does he start here? Let's go back to this because he's so brilliant. We definitely look at this is a criminal genius mastermind. I mean, I get smarter just looking at this guy. If only I could keep up with this guy. This is a criminal mastermind. Unfortunately, the criminals that broke into his daycare stole his employee records, his enrollment records, and they tore the papers out of his check. They didn't steal the checkbooks. They just tore the papers out of his checkbook. They just destroyed it. Now, because clearly his bank won't have records. Oh, my God. Look at the, listen.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were from our book.
Look at the lady behind him. Look at her.
We saw that there was important documentation.
Look at her.
Enrollment of the children and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from
this lady's face says it all.
Papers that were from our book.
My God. I mean, these people have I mean, their IQ's got to be hovering right around, I don't know, Tim Walz retard level. I don't know what else to say about it, folks. This is incredible. Somehow, our brilliant government couldn't catch this. These people were way too sharp, way too shrewd, way ttoo brilliant. And they've gotten away with stealing billions and billions of dollars across our country for God knows how long, including apparently possibly the Somali ambassador who has, he's a health ambassador in Ohio, because no better place to defraud than Ohio, where Mike DeWine will protect you, right? I, what can we say about that? What is there to say about this? This is an absolute joke, but yet no one is investigating Mike DeWine. No one. Mike DeWine's out there telling you, no, we got it covered. There's no fraud here in Ohio. He's still acting like Ohio's okay. He's acting like Ohio's okay. He thinks he's going to get away with it because he's a Republican. And he will, because the Pam Bondi DOJ is crooked. They don't care about law and order. They don't care about justice. It's a two-tier justice system. If they like you and you're uniparty, you can do whatever you want. If they don't, they'll come after you. That's it. It's not complicated. This isn't hard to figure out. The DOJ is no better than it was under Biden. It's just new leadership, and they have to pretend that they're a little more fair and realistic about things. But they're not. They're not. This is one of the most corrupt DOJs in history. This is Merrick Garland's just continuation. I mean, it's mind-blowing. You know, DeWine is out there talking about the cost of doing business. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Columbus is, according to the article, home to 45 to 70,000 Somali residents. Between 45 and 70,000. How the hell do you get 45 to 70,000 Somalis in there? How does that even happen? Why? Why do we have 45 to 70,000 Somalis living in Columbus, Ohio? And when is anybody going to investigate it? When is anybody going to investigate whether Mike DeWine is as crooked as Tim Walz? Because he is. Probably worse. I mean, Mike DeWine is really, really bad. But he keeps getting away with it. Keeps getting away with it, right? By the way, in 2025, Ohio spent over $800 million on child care assistance. How much of that went to Somali child care? Just worth thinking about. Meanwhile, Alex Jones posts this. Now, the good general came out yesterday and talked about how Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles and Todd Blanche and all these people are, creating lists of people they want to go after and discredit. The general said that they've actually targeted his wife. Can you imagine that? How shitty is that? For a PR smear campaign. They want to go after his wife because, attacking his family is a great idea. The corruption is sick. This is under the Trump administration. There are people in the deep state under the Trump administration getting ready to attack General Flynn's wife. Think about that. Anyways, James Wood posted, Republicans have the presidency, Supreme Court, the House, and the Senate, and yet we don't have a voter ID law. Not a single crooked Democrat has been jailed, censured, impeached, or expelled. Taxpayers are being defrauded by billions, and Republicans do nothing, including our DOJ. Well, General Flynn says, pray the administration and Congress are listening, real James Woods. 2026 can be a really good year, but if recent history is a teacher, we're in real trouble. President Donald Trump, instead of make America great again, why not make accountability great again? And then, Alex says this is just what everybody is thinking and saying, and it's true. That's where we are. Everybody's frustrated. Everybody's upset about this. It's corrupt as hell what's happening here. And, I don't know what else to say about it, guys. The corruption is absolutely incredible in this. And, unless we get to start making some changes, we're in real trouble. But who's going to make the changes? It ain't going to be Pam Bondi. It isn't going to be Pam Bondi. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about Pam Bondi. So Pfizer, prior to Pam Bondi coming in, so in 2024, when Pam Bondi was a lawyer representing Pfizer instead of being AG, Pfizer was being investigated for various violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, right? Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. So they had a number of these, and we know that because Pfizer is required to disclose in their 10K reports, so they have to do these, it's a big company, they have SEC reporting they have to do, and they have to disclose risks to their company. So any investigation that's a sufficient risk, they have to disclose. And one of the places that they disclose them and then the SEC reports, these 10K reports, it's required under law. The legitimate risks are reported. So Pfizer had been being investigated for foreign corrupt practices and for violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act in, wonderful places like China, close allies to America, and Mexico. Well, that's 2024 when Pam Bondi was representing Pfizer as an attorney. On 2025, when Pam Bondi came in to Washington, D.C., a solid one day, the first full day of work at AG, Pam Bondi issues a proclamation shifting investigatory priorities, right? She shifted investigatory priorities and did so in this interesting way that resulted in the FCPA investigations into Pfizer going away. So think about this. Pam Bondi, who was paid over $200,000 in 2024 for representing Pfizer as an attorney and who made over $1 million working at Ballard Partners as a lobbyist, comes in and day one, these investigations into her client, Pfizer, disappear. Now, I'm not saying that that's illegal or corrupt, but is that illegal or corrupt? Does it look like Pam Bondi may have just immediately came in and whitewashed investigations away from her client? Does it look like she was influenced in this? Sure as hell does to me. I think it's interesting. You want to know why Mike DeWine won't be investigated? You want to know why the RINOs and the Democrats and the swamp won't be investigated? Because Pam Bondi's the swamp. Now, is this the only thing that she's made go away, guys? Do you think that that's the only thing that Pam Bondi's done is she made the FCPA violations that were being investigated by the DOJ against her client, Pfizer? Do you think her making those go away is the only shady thing she's done? Well, wait a second. Pam Bondi was the Attorney General of Florida in 2008, and for quite some time. And during that time, Epstein was well known and reported to have been running his child rape ring out of his Palm Beach mansion. It was well known. It was actually reported in the Miami, was it the Miami Herald or the Miami, one of the big Miami papers, right? So everybody knew about this. Everybody heard about this. But guess what? There was no investigations into Jeffrey Epstein. She just looked the other way because a child rape ring is not something that you'd need to investigate if you were, a good, pure, attorney general. Why would you want to look into something like that? She looked the other way. She looked the other way for years. And interestingly enough, much like Pfizer, and the investigations that went away for her client, Pfizer, the second she got in, it seems like Pam Bondi lost a whole bunch of files and drug her feet and did a whole bunch of things to really delay, obfuscate, slow down, and ensure that the Epstein files went nowhere. Folks, that's twice. Is that a pattern yet? Is that a pattern? I want to know, is Pam Bondi actually a criminal? I mean, is she a criminal? I mean, we're not going to get anywhere on this. I'm not expecting criminal charges, and no one will ever look into this in a way that could result in criminal charges. But I mean, is she? Did she, leverage her position and her power to do favors for clients, to do favors that result in, gain for herself? I don't know, but it sure is a fair question to ask. If we had any sort of sanity, instead of having her continue to be an AG that does nothing, someone would be investigating her. But there's no sanity in Washington. Instead, what we have is continued corruption, continued cover-up, and people like Harmeet Dillon out there telling us that Bondi's doing a great job, or Mike Davis telling us, oh, Bondi's a fierce warrior. No, you're both sucking at the tit of the hog that is Washington, D.C. That's what you're doing. I don't know why. I like Harmeet. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's thinking. Why would she sell out on this? Why would she keep lying and acting like Bondi's doing an adequate job? She's not. She's not. This is a failure on a profound level. It's not just a failure. It's intentional, in my opinion. I think Bondi's a crook. I think Bondi should be investigated, to be honest with you. I think that her behavior borders on criminal. She not only, I mean, and if what we're hearing about her going, creating hit lists, or the people under her creating hit lists and going after patriots and conservatives, well, folks, if that's the case, we need to make sure she's gone quickly. How do we know she's not undermining the president? How do we know what else she's selling out on? But don't worry, Susie Wiles will keep running interference. Her and Pam Bondi will keep telling the president, hey, we're doing great. We're getting wins on the court for your presidential power and your executive orders. Right? They keep going after executive orders. Do you know what that does, by the way, folks? What they're doing is expanding the power of the presidency. Every win that they get on executive orders accomplishes nothing to change this country, but expands the power of the presidency. That way, day one of the next presidency, that president will have much, much more power, can throw away everything Donald Trump has done because no one's going to jail and no laws are being passed. So all of Trump's executive orders, all his treaties, all his hard work, he's getting played like a fiddle. Donald Trump is getting played like you can't believe. All the work he's doing is going in the toilet. They're telling him, no, we're fighting for you, Mr. President. Your executive orders, they're. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. Day one of the next presidency goes away and no one will go to jail. There'll be no accountability. There's not going to be a change. Do you think that they're going to protect voting? No, they're not going to protect voting before the midterms. Nothing's going to happen on elections before the midterms. The Democrats will steal the midterms. They won't have to steal it because nobody's going to vote for this. Democrats are going to win the midterms big, real big. And guess what happens then? Trump gets impeached. And guess what happens in 2028 when we get a new president? Who, good luck having a Republican president after this debacle. Then we get our next Democrat. The Great Reset continues to be ushered in. Everything goes down. By 2030, Agenda 2030 is fully in place. Guys, there's 5D chess being played, but it ain't by Donald Trump. Donald Trump is getting schooled right now. He has no clue what's going on. He hears about the corruption, but this is deep and it's complicated. And I really don't think he understands it all. I really don't believe it. Listen, Susie Wiles literally bitch slapped Donald Trump. I don't know how else to say it. She went out in that Vanity Fair article, called him arrogant, told him he had the personality of a drunk. She ripped him. She ripped all of his, all the people in his administration. And you know what she got for it? Nothing. You know what that was? That was a power trip. That was a flex. That was an insult to Donald Trump. It was a slap in his face. And I don't know whether he didn't see it or didn't care, or whether she just got too much power to be fired. But whatever it was bad. Any other chief of staff would be fired over something like that, but not this. Why? What's keeping her there? Do they got something on them? They got something? What's going on with this? I don't know what it is, but what I know is it makes me sick, and I'm not okay with it. All right, let's look at some other things. Headline, violent intruder smashes into home, gets shot. Homeowner faces charges despite acting in self-defense. So some scumbag breaks into a house in Indiana. Some guy shoots him, and the guy who shot him is now facing charges. So the guy that shot him apparently has a felony conviction and is not supposed to have a gun. And so he didn't. He had his girlfriend's gun. He grabbed his girlfriend's gun. Right? So this guy, who was a felon, grabbed a gun because he was defending him and his girlfriend because the psychopath breaks into their house and shoots the psychopath. Now, I understand that, that the guy has a felony conviction, but there is something called prosecutorial discretion, and the cops certainly have discretion whether to charge someone, arrest someone, do something, right? The police go after the guy who shot him because he's got a felony conviction. This is retarded. This is Tim Walz retarded. I don't know what else it could be. Just straight up Tim Walz retard. This is Indiana. Of course, that's the place that just undermined Trump's ability to get any voting redistricting done because, the Indiana is actually controlled by Mike Pence RINOs. You can thank Mike Pence for that. But this is incredible. It's absolutely incredible what's going on here. I mean, at the end of the day, the Pence Indiana crew are just, they're one step better, only one step better than Ohio RINOs. We have too many RINOs. Ohio, Indiana, we are controlled Republican parties. We have, they put these just chintzy ass, cheap ass RINO Republicans, in these positions of powers within the state, and they sell out every time. So that's what's happening in Indiana. You know what? I'm frustrated, guys. I'm frustrated. So you know what? I have another story I want to hit here before the end of the show, but instead, I'm going to play one of my new favorite songs as from my tribute to Michelle Obama yesterday. Michelle Obama, the beautiful woman, the beautiful female woman girl that was the first lady of the United States. I want to replay my tribute from my tribute to Michelle Obama, who is clearly not a man, and anybody who says otherwise is a conspiracy theorist. And I want to celebrate her womanhood by bringing up this video. If we could bring this up again, Ben, I want to bring up this video. I want to celebrate Michelle Obama's womanhood by playing this video titled "Michelle Obama as a Man, Dick in Her Pants" song.
Of the finest military in the world. Michael and I.
What?
Michael and I.
Michael and I.
Does anything scare him?
Well, when Michelle's mad. When Michelle's mad.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, here we go. Now, they clearly not the same person, right? Clearly. That is not Michelle Obama. Clearly. See? Girl, right? Oh. My tribute to Michelle Obama, First Lady. She clearly, that is not a penis. Not a penis. No penis there. That just a mic. There's the mic again. The microphone. Oh, come on. There's no dick in her pants. Come on, guys. Come on. Now, who are we to judge that? No one's judging. Listen, Barack Obama can be whatever he wants to be. No one's judging. No one's judging Michelle Obama or Barack Obama and Barack Obama's favorable view of penises. Yeah, First Lady. Oh, come on. Not again. Oh, come on. That's kind of... Oh, this is so fake. That's so fake. Oh, come on. Michelle Obama is a beautiful woman, First Lady. Come on, guys. I needed this today. I needed this. Oh, nobody's shut. What is that? There it is. There it is. There it is. The microphone. The microphone is bouncing everywhere. Well, maybe. Well, not really. Not Joan Rivers. That's not a penis. They don't look at all alike. And different elbows completely. different arms.
Yeah, they had us all fooled.
Beautiful
Do you
first
think
lady.
that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
We already
president?
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
What?
No, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
No one can fool Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers is on top of things, or she was. God rest her soul. May she rest in peace. Folks, I don't know. We got to have a little bit of fun here. So my tribute to the First Lady, Michelle Obama, because it was the Obamas that really ushered in a lot of the chaos that we're dealing with right now. So anyways, Happy New Year's, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Get your butt in shape. Get some Make Wellness from TomRenz.com, Make Wellness from TomRenz.com. Check out men's hormone support from Global Healing. You can get it from TomRenz.com or anywhere. Listen. Support us. We want to keep doing this. I love it. We're having a great day. And by the way, we're going to need your support anyways, because apparently we're getting put on a hit list from the Pam Bondi DOJ. We'll need the extra funds to defend ourselves. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow.
Thank you for watching The Tom Renz Show. Join us live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, putting an axe in the skull of tyranny.